Good morning, brothers and sisters. Grand Rising, what I should be saying. I just wanted to come on real quick on a solo tip in my channel, Talking Square Biz on YouTube, and briefly a little statement on Facebook. I want to make a comment that I heard my brother speak, Brother Reggie from Let's Talk About It podcast. Let's talk about it, let's talk about it, let's talk about it. Your boy Reggie. Now, I have, in correlation with my brother Alfonso Barnes up there in Virginia, my shipmate, you know what I'm saying? He's about to get them anchors, my brother. And one of the topics that I was discussing with Alfonso that we try to discuss on our podcast was about the working with other non-Masonic non-Prince Hall Masonic bodies. And the flatback that I got from Prince Hall Brothers was just astronomically insane. I mean, like, wow. I mean, the separation, the self-segregation that we're doing. I understand that I took an obligation, I respect it, and I stand on it, but I know that I cannot go to a lodge meeting. I can't go in a formal fashion at a Masonic function that's non-Prince Hall, and the works. I understand all that, but like now, see, with the hat and our clothes, outside of the apron and gloves, with the problem with everybody was saying they could. Some people say they could, some people say they can't, and all kind of ridiculous nonsense that I was hearing. But one brother said that he can work with an individual that's a non-Prince Hall, but he said that he can't wear his hat or jersey, and that's crazy to me. And while I was at Grand Lodge, I was talking to my brother, the past District Deputy Grand Lecturer Brown, and he was saying the same thing a lot of people said. Like, if a brother was in trouble and that grand hailing sign, the words of distress was given out like that, right? Y'all not gonna, the question, no one's gonna ask that question. Are you Prince Hall or whatever. They're gonna do what they can to assist you and get you to safety, whatever the situation may be. But Alfonso, because I know Brother Alfonso spoke with my brother Reggie, and Reggie was like, he was kind of against the fact that we're talking about, saying that about the obligation, and we violating our constitution, violating our obligation by trying to do that, right? Now, my brother Reggie, get with us, because now you created another, you stepped on another monster, that's not the word I mean to say. How you do it? You open another can of worms, because see, that's the same thing that me and Brother Barnes was discussing, in a sense, about at least working in the neighborhood, in the communities, reaching out, networking with each other to uplift our neighborhoods, our community. Get these kids, like now, and in our country, they shooting our black men down like dogs, the police are, okay? If you've seen the videos that was circulating out here in the Buffalo, New York area, where the cop shot a man twice. Now, I gave it to you. When he stabbed the officer. Okay, fine. Y'all seen it, but they tased and said it didn't work. But now, the first thing is, when they encountered the suspect, he was cutting himself over there, and he's telling them he was going to commit suicide. So why didn't they do the appropriate steps to, to take, to de-escalate the situation, like our common councilman, like your Honorable Everhart, about you talking about de-escalation, you know what I'm saying? Because see, the one thing that I have a problem with is when before the one commissioner quit, when he resigned or retired because his boy quit the mayor's office, and he says that they had a shooting out here, and that was it. Brother was on the neighbor in Buffalo, New York. He was standing on the middle of the street with a shotgun in his hand. And they had like 4 officers screaming and hollering, put the fucking gun down. You know, some of the white cops says they feel they got a cuss to get, you know, everybody telling them to put the gun down. This the one, put the fucking gun down. You know, he playing cowboy cop. Now, I don't know what happened. We've seen the body cam footages on YouTube. You can go see those. And it was saying that they counted the rounds. One cop fired 14 rounds, and another officer fired 17 rounds. Another fired like 10, you know, so on, right? It's like 4 of them. Now, almost 50 rounds was fired from all 4 officers that was shooting, right? Out the almost 50, because you got 17, 18, or 10. Whatever, I forgot. You know, I can check the YouTube video again. All those rounds, they hit the suspect 3 times. Out of 48 to 50 plus rounds, they only hit him 3 to 4 times. Okay? And the commissioner, Gamillia, I forgot his name. His thing, and this is the problem that I have with that. They said they were trained to fire until they neutralized the threat. They're firing 17 rounds from one gun alone. And you got 3 other guns firing around 10, 13, 14, you know, over 10 rounds out of each firearm. And they're only hitting 3 times. Where did those rounds go? Okay, cars driving by, people crossing the street down there, crossing the intersection, crossing from, you know, one side of Guilford to the other side of Guilford, and get shot. Not knowing where the rounds came from. A car gets struck. They hitting cars. You know, tell us about the property damage, the collateral damage that they caused, the police. You know what I'm saying? But back on the matter, see, this is why I was saying that, see, if all the Masonic bodies was to come together dressed like this, have our hats on, whatever. See, like Reggie said, he never, like you, and he had a good point. When you join the lodge, you do not know the politics of the lodge. You don't know the difference between, you never heard of an international or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I looked it up, I did see Prince Hall, I seen Modern Free International, but I had no idea that there was a big difference between the 4, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know, I just figured Mason is a Mason. I just knew there was 2 Masons at that particular time. Black Masons and white Masons. But now, to sit here for us to say that, because we're talking about bogus and irregularity, we need to come together still and work out our differences that way and still work out in the community. Now, Brother Reggie was saying that we should, you know, try to work together. Now, me and Tony Muhammad had a discussion some time ago. When we talked on the phone, and he asked me, he said, Brother Adams, I ask you this. If by chance the Grand Lodge of England was to recognize every non-Prince Hall body, what do you expect to accomplish? I believe that was the question. Or gain, okay? And I had to pause because I didn't have an answer, because you gotta wonder the mindset of each and every other individual member and lodge. All right. Now, I was talking to a brother the other day. He said it was a mainstream. We had a nice little conversation, but I said, look, the reason why I asked is, are you Prince Hall? Is the fact, you know what I'm saying, like, would you be willing to work it? But like, it seems like everybody that I've spoken to said that they're willing to work with each other, but it's the brothers from Prince Hall. A lot of the brothers from Prince Hall would shoot it down, saying, no, I can't work with you. And that's a problem that we keep us separated as black men. And we won't accept that. But now, I want to ask you, Brother Reggie, please, you on my buddy list, hit me up in the page in the company of black men. And let's chop it up on Let's Talk It Square Biz, my channel with me and brother Alfonso Barnes. Let's chop this up a little bit more better, you know what I'm saying? Because see, we can start something going if we do this right. Because see, we need each other. Like Barnes asked a question one time, to keep us separated, who benefits from our separation? My brother Joe Woolley, who was my dean when I came to the lodge, he stated the fact that we had too many enemies to be enemies of each other. And I just credited saying, we are the authors of our own destruction. Okay? Until we can sit there and say, as a Prince Hall brother, if we can sit here and say that I'm Prince Hall, I know I can't go to your meeting because you're international amount of free. I can go to a ball, but I can't come in a formal capacity in no shape or form or fashion. I understand that. But outside the aprons and gloves, you know what I'm saying, we can still come together and become as one. Because see, people don't know about the lodges anymore. They just know Masons. They think and the one thing that come out their mouths is Illuminati, and we trying to rule the world, or we rule the world already. Okay. Now, some people who still got the information of what we stand about, no. And secondly, they don't know the big difference between the international and the Prince Hall. They don't know the difference between the modern free and the ancient free. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the difference between the Scottish Rite or a York Rite. You okay? Now, if we all came together in our regalia, in a parade per se, the only difference is, you know, they may say, why these brothers don't have on hats, and why the other brothers have on this type of hat, or that type of hat, and that type of hat. All that. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we keep us separated, because we just sit there and discuss it and be like, nah, y'all this, y'all that. We gotta stop that, brothers and sisters. Okay? We ain't gotta meet on the square. But we can meet out here. Like this, out of apron and gloves. So my brother Reggie, hit me up in the comments, or meet me at in the company of black men. Let's give a Barnes, brother Barnes, myself, and let's chop this up with you. You know, you made it. So you created you opened a can of worms with us. Now we got to do this now. So brother Barnes, hit us up. All right. Peace, my brothers.